What's up, YouTube? It's me, Ken, and today we're gonna make a tier list on the strongest defenders in Rainbow Six Siege. For the first operator, we're gonna do the SAS's Mute. Alright. He's a strong operator, a good operator. Good for almost any situation. A shotgun, destructibility, and a shot. Not just that he has a shotgun, he also has an SMG-11, which he can pair with it. So he brings utility, and he can deny intel with his gadget. His gadget stops drones, stop line scans, and you can't even get Doka B called while in the radius. Stops Deimos, the new attacking operator that comes out this season. He's basically gonna stop any utility and intel gain from within those in that radius. He's pretty strong. Maybe he lost some of his utility from blocking drone vision, because now with the observation blockers you can stop them from seeing you, but it won't be able to stop Doka V calls and line scans, so he will always have a place up high in the tier list as long as they don't nerf him. He can stay at good. Also, I'm gonna say this right now. I stole this format from a Siege YouTuber Alka, so credit to him for the formatting. It's kind of inspired. So Smoke, similar situation to Mute, except his gadget can be really strong in good hands. It's a AOE damage over time, area denying smoke. It blocks some vision, partial vision, and you are completely immune to it. Alright? You can walk in and out. I wouldn't advise walking into it because they can see you as it partially obscuring. So it can stop enemies, it can stop an enemy plant. You can activate it behind cover. It's basically really strong. Doc's a solid operator. You can rock him on any situation. 3 full heals, basically, and overheal. Really strong. Rook, same situation. Make any operator have the same HP pool as a 3 armor or more, and you can revive yourself. Self-revive. Doc can do it too, to a certain extent, but it's more for himself for the self-revive. Reviving other teammates is a risky business, but he can revive from far away. Bandit, situational. He's a very strong operator, but you can't bring him on every side. There's not always a wall you need electrified. Sometimes you don't need to bring a bandit. It might be better to bring like a smoke to block off an area, or a mute to get rid of utility. And mute can do bandit's job as well. He can block the wall, but it won't destroy the gadget on the other side. It will only disable it. Bandit, if a thermite puts his extradermic charge on the wall, he wasted his thermite. The electricity would blow it up. But Bandit takes a lot of skill to fully utilize, and he's situational, so that's why he'll be in this place. Jaeger, another story. He's actually very useful. He can block grenades, and in a meta right now that we're in, grenades can play a big role. Utility is a really big this season, because basically everything is slowed down now ever since they got rid of the 1.5s and lowered ADS times. So utility is really useful this season. I would pick Jaeger. He's always been a go-to pick for anyone. Okay. Pulse. He can do okay. In a good hands, he might be in good tier. But his gun, the UMP, slow firing, low it's medium damage. It's a mid gun, okay? He has wall hacks as his gadget, but you can't shoot while doing it. So you can give intel, which is really good, but you can't act on that intel instantly. And that's what his nitro's for. You ping an area, then you throw a nitro, but it's one kill. Right? You could stop a potential plant, But if that's happening, usually you already lost. Unless it's at the last 30 seconds and you killed a guy. Most of the time, if you stop a plant, you're by yourself. And you have to be in a 1v3 situation, possibly. He's okay. I would put him in. I guess he's situational. He can be good on. He can be really good on certain maps with as long as you're on second floor. Castle, he's the strongest, bro. He is one of the strongest defenders. He can put down a reinforced barricade. It doesn't sound that strong, but in order to get rid of this, you have to punch it like 10 times, revealing your location, and cause it could also potentially kill you. If you punch a castle barricade, they can nitro cell you. You might be able to hear it. You might hear it, but you know, if you're on that window, you might be dead. It might be over. And they can shoot your feet if it's a doorway. So castle barricades are strong. Only way of getting rid of them, besides punching, is wasting utility. Whether that be an Ash Charge or a Sophia Grenade, it's not worth it. It's really not. For the most part. It's better to use it on our defender we're going to find later on the list. Capcan, very good operator. The problem with Capcam now is that people are less likely to rush in. But with the ADS changes, a lot of people are going to be scoped in before entering through a doorway and checking their corners. They most likely won't be looking at the door frame, okay? I'm not so sure about like champion players or emerald or plat players, but I'm sure they're not. Most players aren't gonna be scoped in and then stare at the doorways unless they know there's a cap cam and they know he put those cap cams in that position. Most people aren't gonna look, so he's gonna be in good. Tachanka, he's like Smoke. He has everything Smoke has. Destructibility with his LMG. Decent range. Good kill power. But the problem is his gadget. In theory, it should be a better Smoke, but it doesn't do. It doesn't obscure the vision. It doesn't prevent the enemy from seeing. It's just fire. And the worst part is it's not a big area either. It's just a small puddle of fire. They can just run past it and kill you, bro. And when you pull out that grenade launcher, you're really vulnerable. Switching back to your primary or secondary is not an option and within the time they get to kill you. So I'm going to have to put him in situational. Because he does get a lot of grenades. And that could win you the round. Frost. So she's a situational op, but I could see her being good. Because if you're really creative, you can put a trap anywhere. But most of the time, you're going to bring her to windows and sites with lots of windows that they will hop in. And most people, they're like stupid. Unless they know there's a frost, they won't ever check. They're getting frost matted. Make sure when you're playing frost, you're within the area to capitalize on their of their stupidity of getting down by a bear trap. Because they can self-revive. So make sure you put all your frost mats in an area where you could hear the live scream for pain and then capitalize on it. Valk, easy S tier. The utility she brings is unrivaled on the defender team. There's only a few ops who can do what she does, but her cameras, the flexibility where you can put them, is unmatched. So she brings the most intel, even better than Pulse, and he has walls. That's how good her cameras are. Cav, she's hard to play. I would not advise you play Cav unless you know what you're doing. Unless you plan and make sure you're playing with your team too. Because if you're playing Cav, you don't want to just pick her in solo queue. She's not a good solo queue op. Like, her ability to be silent is good and all, but it gets countered by headphones and if your enemy is paying attention and setting up like anti-roamers, hunting down roamers, uh, I don't think Cav's the best pick. It takes a lot of work to play her, but she's not bad. Echo, I hate to do it, but without that ACOG, I don't think I can put him in good. You could argue he's in mid, but he's situational, alright? He brings some of Valk's utility with the cameras, his drones, but they could be easily seen if placed in bad positions. And they don't really. After you die, the camera isn't so good. You can only do like maybe like 90-degree angle with them. You just can't. Like you can't even turn around. It's not that good. But at least he does bring that utility. Even if he dies, he still has a camera. So I would put him in a situation. He's like a worse Valk with a disruption on his cameras. It's okay. You could argue actually. Let's move on to a different op. Let's go on Mira. Mira is a very strong op, but she's also very situational because you can't bring Mira on every side. She isn't very universal. She can play on one wall and only some walls too. She's holding that wall down and she brings two Miras, but most of the time you can only hold with one Mira. Okay? Some people put two mirrors on one wall. It's a strategy, but most of you want to move them around. And there's not much to say. It depends on the map. Legion, the strongest, bro. That utility he brings with his intel, gathering needles, bro. You walk into the needle, you scream in pain, he knows where you are. You take direct damage when you step on it, so it can kill you. It can down you, and then you might just die from that. And it has a damage over time if you don't remove the needle from your leg, which you probably should. It slows you down when you're running. I don't think you can run with the needle, actually. You can't plant with the needle. It can stop a lot of things. And he's a good gun. He's just overall really good. The longer you live, the more value you get from Legion. He gets more mines. He's broken. Well, he's not broken because you can just look at it and shoot it, but it is what it is. You know, there's an operator named IQ, but they don't be using the gadget. So, do they really have IQ? Ella, man, it's unfortunate for Ella. She has intel. She can stop the enemy from running like Legion, and she can gather intel from mines, but they don't do any damage, and the stun is barely even affecting them. Sure, it blurs their vision a little bit, but it no longer slows your it no longer slows your mouse movements. I don't know if it slowed your ADS, but I know it no longer slows your mouse movements or your controller movements. So she's not that much. She's not that strong, but she is a 3-speed. She has 50 rounds in her SMG, really quick firing SMG, high recoil, but it's manageable. Visual, he received a major buff this update, and it's not even a direct buff. It's that the new operator that's coming out is directly countered by Vigil. He cannot. Okay, he cannot be walled by the new operator. They can scan him and then use their gadget to wall him, but then he can counter it. They don't know where he is, but he knows where Deimos is. Because as soon as you get pinged by Deimos, it reveals your location to him, but it also reveals you to his location. And if you activate your gadget and disable his live ping, it will be like an even 1v1. Unlike if you weren't Vigil and he had wall hacks on you and he would just win. It is what it is. I would rather go up against a Deimos with an AR than an Deimos with wall hacks and a pistol. Okay, it's more fair. Alibi, very, very situation. She's situational. It's she can be good, but in the most situations, it's not really ideal to bring an alibi. But when she works, she works. You put down an alibi gadget, they shoot your hologram of yourself. They still, I don't think they, I'm pretty sure they haven't fixed it where the alibi is just a default version of you. It has no attachments, it's the SMG, and basically it forces you not to use any uniform. It's a very situational operator, and she can bring utility. Maestro, he's on the same boat as Echo, but he brings destructibility of his shotgun pistol, a large magazine with a fast fire rate weapon with his LMG. Uh, he has 3 evil eyes, which are better than what like 2 echoes, and he can also disrupt the plant, and he can see through smoke with his camera as well. The only problem with his cameras are that they can be punched and hacked, but so can his competition. But his are more likely to get hacked because they're more noticeable than an Echo Drone or an Alibi. I mean, not an Alibi, a Valkyrie. But he brings all utility, 3 evil eyes, bulletproof, unless you open the glass and start shooting them. And visibility through smoke. Uh, he brings a lot. Clash. Clash. She, in the right hands, she could be in the strongest. And you know what? I will put her in the strongest. She has a shield, right? Which makes her completely bulletproof from the front. Nothing can touch her. And then if she was just that, she would still be in good. But since that's not her ability, it's not just that she's bulletproof to shield. I mean, bulletproof to bullets. She is complete with a taser. If you come near her, she will shoot electricity at you, bro. And you might be like, oh, it's only like 5 ticks of damage or something. Bro, if you got shot a single time by the enemy, a single time, like a single gunfight, and you survive and you win, you will be low enough to the point where Clash could potentially kill you without endangering herself at all. She is very strong, and she brings intel to the team. She can walk in places where no one else can because she's immune to damage, bro. She is the strongest. No debate about it. Paid. He's similar to Bandit, in which he's only good on sites where you need electrified walls, but he does have ACOG. But I don't know why everyone's trashing on Mozzie. He does not have the 1.5. Who cares, bro? I'd be rocking the commando on him. Who needs that? Who needs the ACOG? Who needs the 1.5? He's goated. In fact, he's the strongest. Mozzarella is the strongest operator in the game. He can get rid of intel. He can, like, not only does he get rid of intel, he brings drones with him. These drones are so hard to see because they're the attacker's drone. They can get the attackers confused too. I mean, the red light gives it away, but you're not gonna see that in the situation. You're right. You're trying to plant. You're in danger. There's 3 enemies watching you, trying to stop you from the plant. You're not gonna notice a drone. All right. Warden, situational. Thank goodness the days of the 1.5 Warden is over. But now that the 1.5 is gone, the real Warden players stick with him. The real Warden players didn't need the 1.5. They weren't crushing on it. They knew his situational utility, how useful it can be. Stopping Ying, Smokes. What else does he stop? Those are really strong. He can stop the enemy from gathering map control. It's He can anchor down. He's he's just really strong in those situations. So he's situational. Goyo, he's in the good tier. He's like smoke, except you have to shoot the canisters, which might endanger you, maybe, but the risk is worth it because his fire, all right, unlike Tachanka, it's wide, all right, it's wide fire and will kill you. Do not underestimate this fire. This is not Tachanka level fire. This will kill you. And not only is it big, it lasts for 30 seconds, bro. Bruh, you have 2 minutes in the game, or maybe 3 minutes. Either way, the last 30 seconds, if he shoots one of these, it's donezo, bro. All he has to do is hide. You're not walking through that fire and living. You're smoke, bro. He is not. He's taking cover. He's all good. He's very strong. He brings the Vector with an ACOG. The TCSG shotgun brings destructibility, impact nades. Bro, he's great. Wamai goes into S tier. He is just like Jaeger for real, except better in almost every way. The only problem with Wamai is you have to throw a disc every single time you're gonna use the anti-grenade synergy. I mean, yeah, the anti-grenades. Basically, unlike Jaeger, it's not put down and you're done. You have to actually actively throw these discs. It's not one time. You don't lay one down, lay three down, and then you're good. You have to keep chucking them out. It's he's that's the cost of the power he gets. Solus S tier, overpowered, gets rid of attacker intel, not even balanced. She's probably gonna get nerfed. Mid Oryx. I know he can break the wall. He can run into the wall, break it, jump up some hatches. It's not really that strong, and you have to be really good to make him work. You could argue situational because it depends on the map. You might be able to jump up and flank someone. They can hear you, and you're vulnerable when you're jumping up there. You don't have your gun out instantly. Who else is in? Melusi. Her gadget is strong in theory, but after all of the nerfs, making it bulletproof as soon as it opens, and with tough competition, like you cannot pick as a Melusi. It's unfortunate. Aruni, she's like a situational Jaeger. It's Jaeger for the doorways. It can prevent people from running in, but it doesn't stop them. It's like, do I take this 25 damage, or do I waste utility to walk in? It's okay. Her guns they're all right. Thunderbird definitely mid. With Doc's buff, ain't no way I'm picking Thunderbird. Her guns are trash. They got nerfed. The shotgun got buffed, but I don't know if you would run shotgun on Thunderbird. It's the Cav shotgun, and you see where she's placed. Thor also in mid, even though she has lethal. You know what? Maybe mid is the wrong word. It's okay. You can play these ops. They're just not the cream of the crop. They're not the best at what they do. Because I would rather have a Legion than a Thorn any day. Thorns, they're slow to activate, low chance that the enemy is gonna die to it. Like, why would you stand there and do nothing? And I know I died to a few Thorns, but it's due to stupidity, alright? Most people are gonna have the brain cell to flick over to it and shoot it. Alright? Thorn. That's probably the last operator we're gonna put in, okay. Azami. She's super strong. Even after the nerfs, she might be an S tier. And it's crazy because there's so many S tiers. We might have to adjust it later. Fenrir, definitely an S tier. He is too strong in this game. These are the three Egyptian gods of the game right now. Azami, Fenrir, and Solus. Fenrir is like smoke if it was bulletproof. And but it only blocks off vision. It's like a slow flashbang because if it blocks your vision to a certain point, and it doesn't block the people looking at you at all. So it's like a flashbang. Um, Tuber out, definitely a good operator. He can stop the wall for a quarter of the game, stop you from opening up the wall, and that might be really broken, and I might have to move down an op. Let's see who we moving down. That's crazy. It's crazy how strong these ops are. But if I had to move one down, I would be Castle because Castle takes a really good player to use, and Tuber doesn't. It doesn't. And let's see. I guess you could put Jaeger below Wamai, but they do the same thing. So you might as well keep them in the same spot. Okay. Final adjustments. I think I'd move Tachanka to okay. By the way, situational ops can it's not ranked, alright? They can be better than the good ops in that's why they're situational. It's not that they're objectively worse is why they're below them. It's because that they're not good in every single game, unlike these ops right here. They're good no matter what you're up against. The enemy's always gonna have a drone. You're always gonna be in need of stopping entry. You always need to stop grenades. Buffing up your team support is very useful. And these are basically the ops that are the best at what they do up here. So that's the end of the tier list for the defenders. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe.